like it to go first, and I'm excited about that because it is a great honor to be here today with Congressman Womack and all of you so that we can celebrate this special occasion. It's fun to see the great turnout. I know that many of you are very interested in this program, very interested in meeting with the Congressman. And so I just say welcome to all of you and thank you for being here while we participate in this exciting ceremony. Welcome. As we move forward, the next person that's going to step up here is our Veterans Resource Center Director, Diana Portillo. Diana is the director of the Resource Center. She's been at the college for 19 years. Of those of you who are new and may not know that, she started out as a student and applied for administrative assistant in the dean's office. And when the first Veterans Resource Center was formed at a two-year college in the state of Arkansas, it was right here. It was solely dedicated to serving veterans and their dependents. And it was created, she found a call, a passion that brought her into this field, and she's been here ever since. She does a wonderful job. So please help me welcome Diana Portillo.
So I want to thank everybody for being here for the unveiling of our new challenge coin, which I am so very proud of. It's been in the works for a couple semesters now. So there's many examples of traditions for the military, you know, to build camaraderie and to build unity. One of those is the challenge coin, you know, and so when you see a challenge coin, it can represent so many different things. Traditionally, it was given to prove membership and also to enhance morale. But and of course, you know, the origins of it kind of details back to the Roman Empire when they used to give out coins to the soldiers and everything to kind of, you know, for their achievements that they had. So one of my favorite stories that I did find of the origins was from World War I, and it was about an American pilot who was shot down behind enemy lines. And when he was captured, he was taken, stripped of everything, all of his identification. But what he did, what he was left with was a leather pouch that had his coin from his squadron in there. So of course, they stripped him all that so that he would not be able to escape. And if he did, he didn't have anything to prove who he was. And so he was kind of stuck. Well, he finally did escape, and he found a French outpost. So of course, when they captured him, he didn't have anything to say that he was an American. They didn't recognize his accent, so they were about to execute him. So he reaches for the coin and he gives him the coin. Well, luckily, one of the French soldiers recognized that squadron insignia and was like, hold on. So they while they were sitting there waiting to execute him, they finally confirmed who he was. And instead of executing him, they gave him a bottle of wine. So that takes me to the fun part of the coining. So I've been told variations of stories of this. You know, my dad, Rob Wilcox, you know, we kind of joke around about this. But a lot of times the soldiers would go out to the bar, and we're out there and everything, and somebody would yell out, coin check. Everybody brings out their coins and they slam them on the bar. So of course the last person had to purchase the round. The second round went to the lowest ranking soldier, so they had to buy the round. And then the third round went to the less appealing looking coin, right? Which, I will tell you right now, Congressman Womack, your coin keeps you from having to buy rounds.
That's good.
So, like I said, this project has been in the works for a couple semesters, and I originally had went to Amy McClarty in marketing and said, hey, I want to design a challenge coin, you know, what can we do? You know, so she kind of came up with an idea and everything, and so that just kind of sparked like, okay, what do we want it to look like? What do we want it to say? So then Rob came in my office, Rob Wilcox, who's in my work study, says, well, how about we start doing this? And so we started, I kind of gave my vision, and then he started putting things together for me. And with a lot of failures and changes and things like that, and missing fingers from the salute, and I know I drove him crazy. Oh my God, I drove him crazy. We finally came up with the design that we came up with. When you're looking at the coin, it is very self-explanatory of what the coin represents. It has our veteran on there, and then it has them with their graduation cap, and then of course the top it says veteran on there. And we do have a picture of the coin full blast here. And you can see, like I said, this has been a proud thing for us, and we wanted to award these to our veterans upon graduation. We're not really sure how we're going to do that just yet, but I know that's what we want to do with the coin, and that's what it represents. Because all the words on the bottom, the 3 words, are what the veteran is, and that last word is what we want them to be, and that's success. We want them to be successful, and I think that's what our coin will represent when we hand them out to them. So I hope you guys come and look. It's, like I said, it's a great thing for my area, and I'm so proud of it. But I do want to thank Rob Wilcox, who helped me get it designed. And trust me, Rob knows everybody who knows everybody, and he's the one that gave us a great deal on our coins. But, and also thank you, Amy, as well, too. But thank you, and thank you for coming.
Thank you, Diana. My name is Joe Spivey, Chairman of the Board of Trustees, Northwest Arkansas Community College. And it's always special day to be gathered around students, and especially today to our veteran students that are here, as well as our veteran faculty and staff. As the son of a veteran and as the father of a veteran, it is a special honor in my official capacity today to introduce our speaker and honoree. And I just saw him walk in, but also joining me, fellow trustee Lucas Pointer. Lucas, thank you for joining me today. My time with Congressman Womack goes back to the year 1981 when we first met. And so I'm charged with this very formal, lengthy introduction. And he's saying, but as I was trying to scratch and edit and take out, it was very difficult. So I will just say this. Congressman Womack and I met many years ago when he was with Kerm Radio as the general manager. We met through Rotary, we met through the community. I learned about his participation early on in the National Guard at that time, as a first lieutenant, then a second lieutenant, on up as a captain. We were in Rotary together, active, and then the next thing I noticed is that he gets an assignment at the same time that I'm at the University of Arkansas. Congressman Womack, then Steve Womack, gets a permanent assignment to the University of Arkansas, ROTC, at that time as an assistant professor of military science. During that time, Steve really introduced me to the purpose of Army ROTC, put me on the Army ROTC Advisory Board, on the Scholarship Selection Board, and it was also my first time to be introduced to the Challenge Coin, because I received one at Fort Knox, Kentucky during that time, which I still have today on my desk, and I should have brought it. So I guess I have to buy a round. But I'd like to tell you a bit more about Steve. As most of you know, Steve, before he became a U.S. Congressman, was our distinguished mayor. Unprecedented growth in the history of Rogers, which we have yet to, which lit the fire for what we're seeing now, and for what we as a community college are witnessing. But I'd like to tell you a bit more about him. He served on numerous boards, commissions throughout Northwest Arkansas, chairman of the Northwest Arkansas Regional Planning Commission, chairman of the Rogers United Way, board member, Rogers Little Chamber of Commerce, Rogers Parks Commission, former Rotarian, Paul Harris Fellow, and he was also, Steve is a 1979 graduate of Arkansas Tech University, where he was commissioned as second lieutenant in the Army. And recently he was also inducted in 2014 into the Arkansas Tech University Hall of Distinction as a distinguished alumnus. In his Army National Guard work, Steve served in a variety of command and staff assignments, including command of 2nd Battalion, 153rd Infantry, 39th Separate Infantry Brigade, following the tragic events of 9/11. I remember specifically a conversation that Steve and I had. It's not in the bio, and he said, Joe, he said, right now, I'm packed out underneath underneath our American flag. I knew at that time that Steve was ready. So Steve's battalion was mobilized for duty with the Multinational Force Observers, the MFO, in the Sinai, Egypt in 2002. and it marked the first time in the history of the 39th Brigade that a battalion was deployed overseas. It was also the first time in the MFO history that the U.S. battalion mission was conducted by a pure National Guard unit. Steve retired with over 30 years of service from the Arkansas Army National Guard, October 31, 2009, at the rank of Colonel. His decorations include the Legion of Merit, the Meritorious Service Medal with Oak Leaf Cluster, the Army Commendation Medal, the Army Achievement Medal, and the Global War on Terror Expeditionary and Service Medals, as well as the Arkansas Distinguished Medal. Steve was inducted in the Arkansas Officer Candidate School Hall of Fame in 2011, and in 2015, he was awarded the Harry S. Truman Award, which is the highest recognition conferred upon an individual by the National Guard Association of the United States, for his contribution of exceptional and far-reaching magnitude to the defense and security of the United States. In 2017, he received the Department of the Army Decoration for Distinguished Civilian Service, the highest award that may be bestowed upon a civilian by the Secretary of Army. In the House, Steve is the chairman of the Budget Committee. He serves on the Appropriation, Defense, Military Construction, Veterans Affairs, and Labor, Health, and Human Services subcommittees. Steve is also a member of the WHIP team and various causes. Something else that's not in his bio is he is currently, I think he is chairman of the Board of Visitors of West Point, United States Military Academy at West Point. Steve is married to his wife Terry for 33 years. They have 3 grown sons and 2 grandsons, Liam and Caden. And it gives me great pleasure to welcome, Steve, we want to welcome you to the community college, to the greatest community college in Arkansas. And we want to thank you for all of the work you do on Capitol Hill. But we especially today want to thank you for your dedicated service to our veterans, especially our veterans that are here today trying to better themselves, trying to get their education and get their degrees. Without further introduction, please help me welcome our United States Congressman, 3rd District Congressman Steve Womack.
Thank you, Joe. Boy, with an introduction like that, you don't need any speeches now. Really, I don't like that introduction. I'm just going to say it right up front. Yeah, I wrote it. But I loathe that introduction because I've heard all that stuff a bazillion times. I see Jimmy Lay back there. Jim, good to see you. It's been a long time. The only person that really admires that introduction is my mom. You know, she thinks that's pretty cool. People say nice things about her son. But anyway, thank you for being here. College, it's really important to me. Not just because I was a mayor, not just because I'm a member of Congress, and this happens to be right in the heart of my district, but because of my relationship that dates back to before this college ever existed. I was a part-time faculty member in the predecessor to Northwest Arkansas Community College, the old NACC West Campus. I taught a couple of classes, as many people in this region did. And then I was on the advisory board that eventually established this college, at the time a college without walls. And I've told this story a lot of times. I'll tell it again today just to illustrate how far back I go with this college, now 29 years. And that is this, that when the day came in a crowded Chamber of Commerce conference room with all of the NACC West Campus advisory people sitting there, the likes of then State Representatives Dick Barclay, Tim Hutchinson, we're going back in time now, and a discussion ensues about how are we going to finance our very own college. Dr. Billy Burt Baker at Harrison had blessed the fact that maybe it was time for this West Campus to have its own identity. And so there was this thought that we could tax ourselves with an ad valorem tax to help finance this college without walls, this idea that higher education in Benton County was going to be something that we could all embrace. And there was a very passionate discussion about how much to ask for. I was there. I participated in that discussion. And from my conservative roots, I felt like it was important at the time that we only ask for what we actually needed. Now, you could make a case for asking for more, but I also knew this in my heart. I knew that if you asked for something more than you actually needed, it had the potential to sink the issue at the ballot box. There was no real way to test it except to do it. But it was risky. It was so risky that the majority of opinion that day, it was a slim majority, but nonetheless, more people than opposed. It was the opinion of the majority that we should not risk this opportunity to create our very own college. And I can't remember the numbers. It was either 3.5 mills or 4, or was it 4? It was 3 to 4 mills. There was a group of people that think, let's go for 4. There was a group of people that said, but we really only can justify right now 3. And there was a very conservative voting bloc in this district. I won't call the city by name, but you can draw your own conclusions that if you ask for more than they think you need, they may just give you a tough lesson at the ballot box. And I remember leaning back that day. Barclay and Hutchinson both were behind me, and both great conservative minds, and I said, they're ex officio. They're not going to vote on this. And I said, guys, what do you think? And in both cases, they said, this is far too important to our county, to our region, to risk failure. If we lose this millage election, we may not be able to bring it back for a generation. So we went with 3. And it passed. And I think it was the right move. There are people on the other side of that decision that felt like it was the wrong move. And there's no way to prove me right and them wrong, or vice versa. But my takeaway that day was simply this: be honest and truthful with what you need, and if you can make your case for your need, and we did, the results will take care of themselves. And now look at this place. Look at what happened. This is one of the all-time great success stories in the economic development in contemporary history. This Northwest Arkansas Community College, under the great leadership of this lady behind me. And I am so proud of what it's done, how it's grown. It's no longer a college without walls. And who can foretell what the future is going to look like? All I can tell you is this: if they are anywhere near correct on the estimate of population growth in these 2 counties in the next 20 years, while you can be proud of what you have today, you may not recognize this place a generation from now. It is at the very heart of who we are in Northwest Arkansas. It speaks well of the entrepreneurial spirit of this area. It speaks well to the patriotic spirit of this region. It also speaks well to the philanthropy of this particular region, and names that have benefited this college are scattered across this campus, whose resources have helped provide opportunities for the people. that school here at Northwest Arkansas Community College. I am so, so proud to be part of this thing. And I'm equally proud of this coin. It's a beautiful coin. Looks a little bit like mine. It's got some of the same colors in it. But I've had a coin since I was a commander, because commanders have coins. Commanders like to reward outstanding accomplishment. I had a coin when I was a mayor. And I had a coin when I was a Regional Training Institute commander at Little Rock. And I've got a coin now that I'm a member of Congress. And I got to tell you, as my staff would admit, and I've got two of them from D.C. here, Katie Morley over here and Madison Nash over there to her right, that there's probably not one thing I do more important and more lasting than to engage a young person in Washington who is studying the government of their country, and to say to them, in advance of acknowledging the good that they've done in the classroom or for their community or for their church, to be able to present them a coin in a handshake, to make it personal, to reward them for the good that they are doing in their work. And I got to tell you, I have kids come up to me all the time with their coin, because I tell them at the time that you got to have this at all times. When I give you this coin and I know you possess it, then one day our paths may cross and you may find yourself under a challenge. And it goes kind of like this, as was said just a moment ago. Coin hits the table, and everybody's reaching into their pockets to produce their coin, because they don't want to be the person who is without coin, because they will owe the round of drinks. That can be very expensive to an unsuspecting soldier. But because we try to be family friendly, I don't deal in drinks. I deal in push-ups. And so, Dr. Jorgenson, I happen to know that you possess my coin. Because I personally gave this coin to you in a handshake. So, Dr. Jorgenson, produce your coin.
It is prominently displayed in my office.
I will let the audience, those who are not on the payroll, decide. Is that adequate enough? No. That's not the deal. But you know, Dr. Jorgenson, being a fair-minded guy, I'm not going to let you get away from doing at least one push-up. But just because it's really good theater, I will join you right here in front of this microphone to pay up. All right. Down around. Front-leaning rest position.
All right.
Is your back straight? Yes. Okay. Down. Up. I will trust that our workers' compensation amounts have been paid in the event that I have hurt the college president. Let me finish with this. Next month, on the 11th of November, we will honor the men and women who have put their right hand up at some time in their life and said, I'll go, I'll serve. And it doesn't make any difference whether they fought in combat or whether they just took the oath and their number was never called. The fact that they were willing to say, I'm in, I'll do this, I'll defend my country, means the world to me. And it's why we celebrate Veterans Day. Now, to all of you here, some are veterans, many are not. How can you honor the service of the men and women who have defended this country? There are ways. First of all, a simple thank you to them. But more than that, honor them by working hard to maximize the educational opportunities that you have here in this college. Because one day it's going to lead to something far greater. Honor them by making really good decisions with your behavior. A lot of temptation out there. There's a lot of wrong turns in life. Honor them by looking after yourself, by taking advantage of medicine and technology to guard your health. There's only one of you. And honor them by being willing to pay something forward. This is the greatest country the world has ever known. It's got its warts, but everywhere I go around the globe, people want to trade places with me because they want to be in the USA. I was just in Lithuania, in Poland. Before then, I was in Tanzania, in the Republic of Georgia. These folks recognize how lucky we are. And you know what? We take what we have for granted. Shame on us. So honor the commitment of the men and women who serve this country in uniform by doing your part to make this American idea endure well into the future. My coin has on the personal side of it these words that are important, cornerstones to how I do my work every day. Duty, honor, courage, and service. Those are the things that I try to live my life by. And my leadership philosophy, written on the tails of this coin, lead by example and lead from the front. If you'll do these things in life, you'll never have to worry about your future. You'll never have to worry about your country. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. God bless you all. God bless America, and God bless Northwest Arkansas Community College. Thank you so much.
Congressman, thank you for those words. Powerful. Now, it gives me great privilege to introduce a veteran and someone, and as Steve said when he was talking about leadership, a leader on this campus, a leader to our students, and an example, who will now present the coin. And it gives me great privilege to introduce Dr. Todd Kitchens, Vice President for Student Services here at Northwest Arkansas Community College.
Thank you, Mr. Spivey. I don't know if I have any words that can go behind the Congressman and the President doing push-ups, but I'll do my best. First of all, let me get my coin sorted out. Thank you, Mr. Hall. So I'm good for my checks, so I won't be buying any round of drinks for anyone anytime soon. But you heard it said at the very beginning that Northwest Arkansas Community College was the first community college with a standalone and dedicated Veterans Resource Center. And Congressman, we appreciate your support, and we appreciate you always making the time to come to NWACC. You have 8 institutions, including us, but you always make it a point to come by to see us and to check in with our students, and specifically to check in with our veterans, and we appreciate that. When I started my college journey 31 years ago, there was no such thing as a Veteran Resource Center on the campuses that we attended. So with your leadership and the support of others, for us to have this opportunity to do this work is really amazing. I would say that one of the wisest things this college has done in its, 28, 29 years is to hire Diana Patil as the director of our Veteran Resource Center. Now, with the exception of the Texas, just a minute, with the exception of the Texas Longhorn flag hanging in her office, she's a fine individual, and she epitomizes leadership and service. So would you help me thank Diana for service? So I have the greatest opportunity of the day, sir. If you would join me at the platform with a handshake, I'm honored to present to you publicly the first Northwest Arkansas Community College Veterans Challenge Coin. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Now, this is probably going to lead to me doing a bunch of push-ups in the future because I can only carry so many coins. But thank you so much. This is, first of all, it's a beautiful coin. The fact that we have the service emblems of the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines on the back, Coast Guard, is particularly of significance. And to have this veteran salute on the front just speaks volumes to me. It'll find a place of very, very important reverence in my office in Washington, D.C., where I have a number of the highest ranking people in our military forces and on the civilian side matriculate through from time to time. They'll have an opportunity to be witness to the great patriotic spirit alive here at NWACC. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Congressman Womack. We appreciate so much you being here.
Are you okay?
Yeah. Well, let's do it again. Thank you all for coming. We appreciate you being here and showing the Congressman just how much that you appreciate everything he does for Northwest Arkansas Community College and for the region. Thank you.